soft, fragrant, and also comforting. We love our rice, eating our way through more than 47 million kilograms of it a year. That amounts to 2.5 plates of rice for each one of us every single day. But of late, white rice has gained a bad rep, thanks to our war against diabetes.
If you do cook at home, make small changes, like replacing white rice with brown or mixed grain rice. The effect of eating white rice is almost like eating sugar.
It was a resounding call to relook our diets and look for healthier options. Since 2016, supermarkets and grocers have been increasing the varieties of whole grain rice. At last count, there were at least 10 different types of whole grain rice.
Whole grain rice is said to be healthier because it can lower the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and even certain cancers. It also helps in weight management. But I'm wondering, which whole grain variety is best for me?
For some answers, I'm meeting a foodie who has made a career out of getting people to choose healthier ingredients. Charlotte May is a nutritionist, and more importantly, she knows her rice.
So there's so many different types of whole grain rice out there. Is there a difference?
Okay, so the easiest, brown rice. So this is high in fiber, high in B vitamins.
This is the anatomy of a grain of rice. Each is enclosed in an outer hull. This is really tough and it is removed in all rice types. Under the hull is the bran. This bran layer is not removed in whole grain rice. So for whole grains like brown rice, the bran and the innermost rice germ are left intact. These contain a lot of nutrients, such as fiber, several vitamins, minerals and antioxidants. Remove the bran and germ, you get white rice.
And right here we've got rice berry. It is a hybrid of 2 different types of jasmine rice.
A hybrid, okay.
Yes.
There are no actual berries in that?
Not at all. This will turn slightly purplish after cooking, which is really interesting. And then right here we've got black rice, otherwise known as forbidden rice, because way back when this was cultivated only for the emperors. And the common people like you and I could not eat it. And this is red rice. Nothing spectacular about it, just that it has a different color pigment that gives it this red maroonish color. When it's cooked, it smells nuttier.
Riceberry, black rice, red rice, these are all whole grain rice. The type and amount of pigments in the rice bran determines their color.
And finally, we've got here wild rice, which actually isn't rice.
Oh, it isn't rice?
It's actually a grain that is grown from an aquatic grass. It's grown in the wild.
I see, okay. So in terms of colors, they're all different. Texture, is there much difference?
Slightly. To me, brown rice is chewy. Wild rice is hardier on the outside, but chewy and very tender inside. But they're pretty much the same. The biggest difference, like I said, is color. So maybe that boils down to the antioxidants that you get from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
The newer rice varieties don't come cheap. For example, white rice costs up to $4.30 per kilo. Compare that to brown rice, which can go up to $5.30 per kilo. Red rice, it's $5.50. Black rice, $5.90. Then we have riceberry, a hefty $6.50 a kilo. That's 1.5 times the price of white rice. Price notwithstanding, which whole grain rice is winning the popularity contest? I'm calling supermarket chains and suppliers to find out what Singaporeans are eating more of.
So what's the demand like for whole grain rice? Whole grain rice demand like for whole grain rice?
The consumption of whole grain rice definitely has increased a lot in the past few years.
In the past few years, whole grain rice?
The sale of the whole grain rice increased significantly in the past year.
And how much has it increased by?
In the fourth quarter, I saw almost 2 times increase in sale.
So have you noticed any new trends coming out of this?
In terms of older audience, most of the ones that they purchase is the brown and the red rice. Only the young younger crowd, they will be more daring to try out like the raspberry.
Riceberry.
So this raspberry, we see that the sales are improving over the years. We noticed an increase in demand for raspberry rice towards the end of 2019.
Increase by how much?
Particularly in the fourth quarter, we saw almost 3 times increase in the number of orders.
3 times.
Our calls to suppliers reveal that riceberry is increasing in popularity, even though it's one of the most expensive. I have never eaten riceberry. I wonder what's the attraction.
I'm here to meet Stephanie, a mother of 2. I hear she's been serving riceberry to a family since 2018. And not just that, she's actually made a business out of it too, selling toddler meals using riceberry. So you sell riceberry for toddlers. Why did you choose this over other whole grain rice?
I actually was doing an experiment on different kinds of whole grains, like brown rice and black rice, to see which was more acceptable by the toddlers and the babies. In that process, raspberry was the most acceptable because of its taste. It's slightly sweet. The texture is also fluffier.
In a way, you're saying you chose this because of largely the taste.
Yes, and also it doesn't compromise on the nutrients as well.
But is it more nutritious than other forms of whole grain rice?
It's not the most nutritious whole grain rice that is available in the market, but it does contain a very high amount of omega-3, iron, as well as a higher fiber content, in fact higher than white rice or brown rice. The purple-black pigment is actually where all the antioxidants are, just like for the blueberries.
Why can't we make brown rice to taste the same?
Brown rice is just different. It doesn't have that kind of fluffiness to it. It doesn't have the aroma that raspberry has.
Maybe I can try some?
Yeah, sure.
This is just nothing but
Raspberry.
Oh, yeah, it's quite sweet. I can taste the flavor, and in fact, it doesn't taste very healthy because it tastes quite good. Right? That's a good thing, yeah. You get both the taste and the nutrition at the same time.
Riceberry, which is grown in Thailand, is a hybrid of 2 kinds of rice: black jasmine rice and Khao Dok Mali 105, another type of jasmine rice. And while it's a whole grain variety, it cooks in the same amount of time as white rice. And it has more fiber than both white and brown rice. Well, that's all good since fiber is important for our digestive health and regular bowel movements. I suppose that's why it's expensive. But is it really the rice for me if I want to lose weight and get fitter? I'll review the biggest shock about white rice.
Oh, wow. In terms of calories, I honestly thought this would be the highest. I'm finding out the truth behind the different types of rice we see today. Compared to the white rice I grew up eating, the whole grain varieties are richer in fiber, nutrients, and antioxidants. But how do the different varieties weigh up when it comes to calories? Because the lower the calories, the better it is for me to keep my weight in check, right? I've arranged to meet dietitian Derek Ong. He's going to break it down for me. So all these kinds of rice down here, how do they compare in terms of the number of calories they have?
Well, Steve, do you want to maybe just make a guess?
Okay.
The highest load?
Oh, the highest loads? Okay,
Yeah,
I think white rice would be the highest. Okay, 260. These would be much lower than the white rice. Oh, it's higher.
This is the riceberry.
Riceberry, this is the black rice.
Yeah.
Okay, this is lower. That's wild rice.
Wild rice, yeah.
This one I know is red rice. I think it should be lower. Oh, wow, 378. Oh. Then brown rice, 222. I honestly thought this would be the highest. White rice has one of the lowest calories? Well, I really didn't expect that. Why then are we told to choose the whole grain alternative?
You don't actually eat so much of the whole grain rice generally because it's got higher fiber and it's not digested as quickly.
So even though this is much higher in terms of calories than the white rice, You're saying I will only eat perhaps half a bowl of this versus a full bowl of this.
Sure, yeah. So you can actually save a bit on the calories. That relates to a concept we call it GI or glycemic index. So this is the ability of a food to influence the blood sugar levels.
So it's not just about the calories, it's also about the glycemic index of the carbs we eat. Low GI foods take longer to digest and metabolize, causing a lower and slower rise in our blood sugar levels. This helps prevent diabetes, and we also feel fuller for longer periods of time. On the GI scale, 55 and below is considered low. That's good. 56 to 69 is medium. 70 and above is high. So how do the different types of rice compare when it comes to GI?
So for white rice, yes, it is the highest GI. Okay. So that one's quite straightforward. Okay. Yeah. For the others, it's not quite so straightforward.
Yeah. Okay, so looking at the numbers, it doesn't mean more calories, higher GI. If I'm looking to lose weight, should I look at the GI or the calories?
If you were to be focusing more on the lower GI kinds of foods, you would be able to control your blood sugars, you'll be able to control your hunger pangs, and you'll actually be eating less and eating less calories.
So white rice, while very low in calories, has the highest GI, which means we'll be hungrier sooner, consuming more calories during the course of the day. In contrast, black rice might have one of the highest calorie counts, but it's got the lowest GI. Eat that, and it's likely you will end up with a lower calorie intake for the day, because you won't have the urge to eat so often.
Here's the thing. Even with the rising demand for whole grains, 8 out of 10 Singaporeans still prefer good old white rice. The taste, the texture, I guess it's just something we've grown up with. But white rice also has the highest GI level. So what do I need to do if I must have my white rice?
I'm going to meet the man with the solution. He has his fill of white rice twice a day.
Oh, hey, Jonathan.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Right. I must admit, I didn't expect you to look quite so fit.
Good that I'm surprising you.
Okay. You eat white rice, but yet you look super fit.
You look at what's inside rice, it's very high in glucose. The best time to eat glucose is probably after a hard exercise session, especially if you did resistance training or intense exercise or lifted weights. So you want to try some things that would make that bowl of rice almost not matter at all.
Wow, not matter at all. Okay, sure, why not? Okay. I'm game, let's give it a try.
1, 2, 3, 4, and up fast. Good, that's nice. We'll try for 10, okay?
Okay, wow.
Down.
So this is what I've got to go through if I want to have my white rice and look like Jonathan.
Okay, so that's...
Well, it's not as easy. I would need to do 5 rounds of 3 different strength training exercises. For me, ideally that's about 75 pull-ups with weights, 75 leg presses, and as many sled pushes as I can. I really pushed myself hard for a full 30 minutes until exhaustion, just to burn off 1 bowl of white rice. Maybe there's another way to do this. If we resist whole grain rice because we're not used to the taste, surely a chef can fix that.
I'm wondering if you can recreate this dish, our favorite nasi lemak, but change the white rice.
You're kidding me using this?
%85% of us eat out at least once a week. But the issue is this: 6 out of 10 hawker stalls in Singapore do not offer healthier options like whole grain rice, often due to a lack of customer demand. The Health Promotion Board says customers still prefer the taste of white rice. But what if we can make popular traditional dishes taste just as good with whole grain rice? I'm enlisting Chef Eric Loh to help me out. He runs culinary consultancy Lush Epicurean and has 30 years of whipping up award-winning dishes under his belt.
All right, Chef. Thanks for coming in today and helping me out. I have a simple challenge for you today.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you can recreate this dish,
Oh, okay.
Our favorite
That's
nasi
not
lemak.
different.
But change the white rice to black rice.
I've chosen black because of all the whole grain varieties, black rice has the lowest GI. It is also packed with antioxidants, has more fiber and protein than white rice.
What do you think you will do?
Okay, because this is a low GI rice, so when you cook it, from a taste angle, it's not very palatable. So I would suggest that we do a mix with the regular rice.
Low GI means the rice has less starch and is unable to absorb as much flavor from the coconut milk as white rice.
But if you mix it, then, I mean, that's hard to do a comparison, right?
Generally, when we try to get people to convert to eating healthier rice grains, we always do a mixing method. Gradually mix in by increasing the percentages each time, and then eventually it takes a bit of time for people to convert 100%.
Roughly how much of a mixture?
Usually we'll start recommending with a 70-30% ratio.
So 70 white, 30 black.
Correct.
So it's still mostly white rice that we're using. But if this is what it takes to convince people to start switching, I guess it's worth a shot. But Chef Eric has one more trick up his sleeves. He's using white basmati rice instead of normal white rice.
How's it going?
We're good. Look at that.
What is that?
This is actually basmati rice.
Yeah,
I made the switch. Because this is a medium GI rice. It's healthier than the jasmine rice. There are a lot of nasi lemak stores now, they are switching to basmati rice also.
Right, okay.
Just now, so just one last step before we put it in, just a couple of pandan leaves.
So, will it taste the same?
Only one way to find out.
Hi guys.
I'm getting 3 testers to taste it. They are all lovers of nasi lemak. Before we start, we're going to blindfold them so that they can't tell there's black rice.
So I'm putting a plate of food in front of each of you.
Would Chef Eric's version of nasi lemak convince them?
Have you guys noticed anything unusual about the dish you're eating now?
Nothing unusual. The usual nasi lemak rice.
It's not as processed in a way. It still have that husk.
I feel that the rice is a little bit softer than nasi lemak rice, and I can taste the flavor of the pandan and the coconut milk, but it's not very strong.
Okay, you can take off your blindfolds now.
Wow.
Oh. Okay.
So what you have in front of you actually is a variation of nasi lemak. The rice has been mixed with black rice because that has the lowest GI among the different types of whole grain rice. And therefore, it makes the whole dish healthier.
I'm actually surprised if I didn't see it, I would just enjoy it as per normal.
Would you go for this rice if it was sold to you in the shop?
So if I were to go to a store, I may be hesitant. I would go 50-50. After all, we're all raised that, it's supposed to be white rice.
I have a different opinion. I actually like the texture. It's a bit softer. If given a choice, going to the hawker center and they have this and the regular rice, I would go for this because it's a healthier option.
Kelvin?
Personally, I prefer my nasi lemak rice to be a little bit firmer. So for this one, it's a little bit wet. But if I were to see this outside, I wouldn't mind trying it because it looks interesting. Yeah, I would want to give it a try to actually see how it actually tastes like.
So if I ask you now to choose based on purely just taste, forgetting about health or any other reason, would you choose plain white rice or whole grain rice?
Purely on just taste.
Just taste.
I'll still go back to the traditional, more individual grain because I guess it's nostalgic, right? Comfort food. I will still pick that.
Sharon, what about you? Would you switch?
I definitely would. I mean, I get to eat something really delicious and less guilty. So it's a win-win for me.
I think I'll still go for my regular nasi lemak. Definitely the white rice. Firmer, better texture.
So for 2 of the 3 tasters, taste still trumps.
Welcome to our Biochemistry Lab.
Okay.
So this is where we do tests on the foods that we develop.
Maybe this team might have the answer. They are using technology to lower the GI of our favorite comfort foods, white rice, bread, and noodles. supposedly without changing their taste and appearance. I want to test this out, so I'm bringing some rice samples to them.
I brought you 3 different brands of white rice, and I'm told that you can help me lower the GI of this.
Yes. So we can lower the GI of any white rice naturally, but I think first of all we need to test the GI levels of the rice brands that you brought today.
It's almost like turning metal into gold. Maybe that's why they call their secret powder the alchemy fiber. I leave them to it and return 3 days later.
So over here we have cooked up the 3 rice brands that you've brought.
Right.
And then we've also added the alchemy fiber into the rice as well. Now maybe you can play a little game and see if you can tell which of the samples has the alchemy fiber in it.
I know, I was trying to look for a visual indication, but I can't see anything. So let me see if I can taste it. Okay. Tastes fine. Tastes the same. I'm gonna eat all of them, all 6 bowls of rice. I really can't tell the difference. I mean, okay, I've tried all of them. I can honestly say, I can't tell the difference. They all taste like just regular plain white rice.
Let's review the results then. So we tested the GI of the brands of rice that you brought. So from the GI result, it states that this is a very high GI product.
What about this one? This one says brand A with alchemy fiber and medium GI. So this has brought down the GI.
Yes, so this has brought down the level of the GI to medium GI, which is very similar to brown rice. But the entire tasting and sensory aspect, the experience of eating the product is still the same.
It goes from a high GI to a medium GI. How significant is that difference?
The jasmine rice has a GI value between 80 to about 95.
Okay.
So by just adding the alchemy fiber into the rice, we were able to bring it down to about 65.
Ooh,
that's a significant reduction.
Yeah. Any side effects that come from my eating this rice with medium GI every day for over a period of time?
If you have a diet extremely high in fiber, you may experience what we call the laxative effect. But in order for that to happen, you got to consume some 22 bowls of rice with the alchemy fiber per day.
Right.
So it's not possible.
The company is already working with several leading rice manufacturers to produce white rice that contains the alchemy fiber, which is essentially natural fiber from plants.
Does this mean my rice is going to become more expensive?
Well, when this product hits the market, it will cost just a little bit more. So it'll be priced very similarly to brown rice product.
The company says it will launch the product in May. But this product only lowers the GI of white rice. In terms of nutritional benefits like antioxidants, higher amounts of protein and iron, whole grain rice is still the better option.
So now that I understand a bit more about all these other whole grain rice types, I'm actually quite excited about adding them to my diet. So with 2 kids at home, I've been adding a bit of riceberry to our white rice. It adds a bit more flavor to it, and actually the kids are quite liking it. Because that's the key to a healthier diet and keeping my weight in check in the